What's up? What's up? It's Dr. Will James reporting to you here at Dr. Will James Reports. Don't forget to hit that like button. Also hit that bell button, that bell icon in the right hand corner, or whatever it is on your screen. If you haven't already, so that you get notifications whenever I address a new topic, upload a new video. Today we're going to be going over whether or not people should have a say in what their partner does in a relationship. For example, should a man have a say in what his woman wears outside? Should a man have a say in, should a woman have a say in what her man wears outside? So let's just get into it. I got a great clip here today from the brothers at Daily Wrap Up Crew. They had some females on the show and they were addressing this topic. So let's watch it and then let's unpack it.
Should a man have a say so in what?
I said that's self-preservation in her eyes.
In her eyes, in most women's eyes, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen,
I can only speak for myself. So
should a man have a say so on what his woman wears outside?
No. Did he buy it? Is he sponsoring the clothes?
even if he bought it,
So this is already crazy that they said no. Two women said no, the lady to the left and the lady in the middle. All right, I already think that's crazy, but let's hear more.
sorry. My man not telling me what I need, what I can and cannot wear. He never has, and he probably will never do that simply because, one,
you're not wearing nothing crazy.
No, even if I decided I wanted to, what's crazy to you?
You got a lot of shit exposed.
Okay, what's a lot of shit exposed? Let's be specific.
Ass out, nipples out.
Okay, so now
so you just walking outside naked, like
no,
no.
I like your
I just went to a party last night. They was all half naked. Y'all seen Ciara dress at the
and there was a problem with that.
Yeah.
Her husband wasn't angry. Everybody else was mad.
Yeah, so everybody else was up in flames and had think pieces, but her husband.
All right, so this is just ridiculous. So they said no. There's nothing wrong with no, excuse me. They said no. Their boyfriend can't tell them what to wear outside. The first lady said, did he buy it? Okay, so it doesn't matter if your boyfriend or husband bought the material. If you're wearing something outside that is too revealing, that is going to be disrespectful to you and it's going to be disrespectful to your husband. When you're in a relationship, you represent the person you're in a relationship with. My wife, she steps outside, she represents me. I can't have her going outside showing her backside, showing her breast, doing certain things that don't align with who I am. Okay. For one, I'm an Israelite. If for a lot of you who have seen me, you saw the Jesse Lee Peterson interview. That's who I am. Okay, I believe in the Bible. I believe in the customs of the Bible. So a major problem that I see in a lot of cultures is they allow their culture to override their belief system. I'll say that again. They allow their culture to override their belief system. So if you call yourself a Christian and you believe in the Bible says a woman should dress modestly, and it gives an example of the things that she should wear. And it says that she shouldn't be showing, her body parts, her backside, and things of that nature. So if you call yourself a Christian, now I don't know the religious beliefs or anything of these females here, right? But if you call yourself a Christian, then there's no reason why you would be going outside dressed like how Ciara was dressed. There's just, no reason for any of that. Okay. Matter of fact, let me pull that picture up so we can get a better look at how Ciara was dressed. So, can we see this? Let me click this real quick. Okay. So we can see how Ciara was dressed at the awards. This is how Ciara was dressed at the awards. Can we see that? Look at this image. Look at what I typed in. Ciara naked at the awards. Her whole back is out. Her butt cheeks are out. She's wearing a thong. And it looks like she has some sort of, nipple covering or whatever over the nipple area. Barely, but her whole front stomach part is out. This is pretty darn ridiculous, if you ask me. This is pretty ridiculous. So when they talk about the, you know, um, how Ciara was dressed, this is what they were talking about. Okay. So we can go back to the video. But this is why a lot of guys get mad at Russell Wilson, because a lot of women want to point to him as an example and say, okay, well, everyone was mad except for, her husband. Okay, just because certain people allow disrespect doesn't mean it's not disrespectful. You're going to be perceived that way as it's disrespectful. So just because, he wasn't sweating it, he let it happen, that doesn't mean that it should be a norm, especially when those two. Now, I usually say, like, within a relationship, whatever the partner allows that's between those two people. But these two people, Ciara and Russell Wilson, are also vocal about being Christians and being into their belief and being into their faith. That goes against biblical teachings to be outside dressed like that. So the hypocrisy is in everyone's face. You can't say, oh, I'm this, woman of God and we're a family and we believe in God and we go to church and we pray, and then you walk outside half naked, right? Let me just show you them so that we have an idea of what I'm talking about. So this is them, at church. She's praying. Look how she's modest in the church. She wouldn't wear that to church. So why would you wear that on a red carpet? Okay. You can't go from this picture here, right, to this. It doesn't make sense. Right? It doesn't make sense to go from, prayer worship to that. All right? That just doesn't make sense. So you're disrespecting yourself because you're disrespecting your beliefs. If you're a Christian, the chief source for your belief is the Bible, and the Bible gives instructions on how you should carry yourself and how you should live. And this isn't modest apparel. This isn't dressed accordingly to the scriptures, what Ciara is wearing. So as they're trying to defend Ciara and say, oh, well, her husband didn't have a problem with it, that doesn't mean it's wrong. Based off of his own belief system, we know he would prefer that his woman wouldn't go outside like that, but that's why he gets called a simp, because he let her do it, even though based on his own beliefs, either he's not really into his Bible and he doesn't know that, or he's read it and he knows what it states and he still chose to let her do it. But I just think it's ridiculous as they get into this, saying that a man shouldn't have any say in what his woman wears outside.
Husband was perfectly fine.
I'm just saying, for me and my woman, yeah, there's a problem with that.
I had a situation recently where somebody who I met and was like getting to know had told me like they couldn't wait to dress me, like put me in clothes, or just, you know, when I go out with them.
Are you a dog?
Right. I'm Barbie or something. But he had gave me an example of what it was that he wanted me to wear. And it was like a see-through like dress. And he wanted me to have my titties out, like nipples out, with only like a thong under in public to go out to dinner. Like when we're in Miami, he's like, oh, when you come to Miami, this. And I'm like, no, thank you. Like, I'm not.
That's because he wanted to walk around with you like a trophy. That's different.
Right. If a man said that he wants to walk around with you like a trophy, show you off that he has some sexy woman with him, but he's not looking for you to be wifey. No man wants someone that he's taking seriously to be out in public naked or exposing, you know, their private parts, their breast, or, you know, their backside or anything like that. No man wants that.
Different.
But how is that a trophy?
Because he's showing you off.
But
he's showing you off.
He's showing, but I'm showing my own skin. That's not happening.
But that means like, I don't feel like a man has respect for you if he does that.
Absolutely. Yeah. But I also feel like now showing your body, does he have a say in what you wear? That's him having a say in what I wear. If I'm not comfortable with that, no. You're not gonna have a say in what I wear regardless.
But if
is
you
that your boyfriend though?
No.
Y'all just talking.
No, we're not talking anymore. That shit is not
happening. We're talking about in a relationship. We're talking about in a relationship.
Yeah.
Or marriage. Should your spouse have a say in what you go outside in?
No, absolutely not.
So let's say you wear something revealing. You then go outside, and then a man gropes you.
But you said revealing, like showing what?
Let's not do that. I don't hate
Who are you calling?
First of all, we're gonna stop there because depending on what I wear does not depend on how a man acts, and that's just
okay.
That's
let's
really
say you go outside and what you wearing now.
They're wrong. She's saying that, but they're wrong. What you wear does impact how most men will treat you. It's a flat out fact. It's an observable truth. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't cases where, you know, men act like a man who's a jerk, who's an idiot, who's, you know, a criminal, whatever, a man who's going to have, you know, SA on his mind or anything like that. He will do that to someone who's dressed like a nun. However, on an average day, someone stepping out, men are going to treat you differently based on how you are dressed. Notice how they're saying this, but look at how all of them are dressed on this panel. Look at how all of them are dressed on that couch. No one has anything out. She's wearing a turtleneck. She's wearing a hoodie. Now, again, this is in New York. It probably was cold or a cold night around this time, but they're dressed, you know, respectable. Like, this is respectful apparel that they have on. This is modest apparel. They're not carrying themselves looking like they're easy, looking like they are fast, looking like, you know, a whore. If a woman comes outside and she's walking down the street in like a bathing suit, a two-piece bathing suit, and she's just on the side of the road, that's crazy. Men are going to treat you like, oh, like, yo, what's up? You know, the approach is not going to be like your wifey material. No man is going to approach someone who's dressed like that on the side of the street, walking down the street, with thoughts of, let me marry this person. If you're dressed classy, a man will approach you differently. His tone, his energy will be different. All right. He can approach you, that same woman, if she's dressed in like some form of, you know, a nice dress, a nice sundress, whatever. That person is giving off a different energy. They're giving off a different vibe. So the energy that you give off is going to impact how people deal with you, how males deal with you. Okay. Again, it's not 100%. There are going to be some men where if you're wearing something respectable, like how they're dressed now, who may still be creepy or weird or inappropriate. But for the majority of men who have some respect and decency, even when they deal with you on a general basic level, when they approach you, if they met you dressed, like I said, with the example, let's say you're wearing a 2-piece bathing suit, but they met you like in the summer on the side of the road or in the neighborhood or something like that at the park, and you were dressed basically wearing nothing, as opposed to if you had on something respectful like a sundress or something, the mindset is gonna go from a one night stand or a friends with benefits kind of thought to wifey. Okay, if you're a beautiful woman and he sees how you're dressed, the thoughts are, all right, she's dressed, I could see her being, my girlfriend, my wife, she's respectful. If you're dressed a certain way, when a man sees you, those thoughts automatically leave because you don't represent that. Let's continue.
And the
And
nigga
somebody
will
touch you.
probably
They do it every day.
Who are
They
you
do it every
calling?
day.
Who are you calling?
my man is definitely, or
So
I'm calling
why
my
would he
brother
not-
or my father.
Well, I
But
mean, when
either
it
way,
happens, usually don't
either
can't call
way,
nobody.
however I dress, if a man is that disrespectful, he gonna do it whether I have clothes on, whether I don't have
he
clothes
only
on.
doing it because
No,
you're looking like a
that's not
whore.
No,
true.
he's
That's
That's
why
not
he's doing it.
no,
You're looking like a
no.
whore, so he gonna treat you like
So
a
wait,
whore.
so
Like,
now
that's
when
why.
you were out with your man, how were you dressed? When you were out with your man and a guy came up behind you, how was you dressed?
A regular dress.
Okay.
Not even a see-through dress.
Okay.
This much cleavage.
Okay.
Okay.
So now does
How short
that
was it?
fit?
I don't think that matters. I think
Clothing doesn't matter.
He should have a say on what you wear.
I'm gonna be for real. As a woman, I started getting catcalled. I was probably 12.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm not even a developed.
Yep.
I'm a child.
I'm wearing
Yep.
regular
So
ass
if we
clothes.
sit here and say, "Oh, it's what you're wearing," nah, men are men and men are disgusting. And I don't want to say all men.
She said men are men and men are disgusting. Then she said, I don't want to say all men. How many men are disgusting? And I don't believe you were getting catcalled at 12. Not by no men. Come on now. Be serious.
But men are very nasty. And so when we talk about, oh, well, you got groped because what you had on, nah. I could have been fucking covered up in a hijab.
You could have been a nun.
And they would have done it still.
Yeah,
Right.
I understand that. You could be wear a turtleneck bodysuit.
They could have did it to someone dressed in a hijab, but it's less likely to happen. Two women who look exactly the same, one walking down the street in a hijab and one wearing, a bathing suit. The one wearing the bathing suit is more likely to get groped and disrespected than the one wearing the hijab. That's just common sense. Let's not play games, okay? In the same exact location, the same area, women look exactly the same. One wearing a hijab and one wearing a bathing suit. The one wearing the bathing suit is more likely to get disrespected and groped. Okay? Culture matters. Where you are matters. In certain cultures, in certain parts of the world, women have less rights than they do in the United States of America. In the United States of America, if a woman is walking past a man who's a creep, she's more likely to get disrespected if she's wearing less clothing than she would be if she's wearing more clothing. That doesn't excuse the behavior of the creep. He's still a creep. He still shouldn't do that. Women should be allowed to wear what they want to wear without someone touching them. Anyone should be able to wear what they want to wear without someone touching them or disrespecting them. I want to make that perfectly clear for the idiots who can't comprehend. But let's not act like how you present in society does not impact how you are treated. Okay, that goes for the same way how you walk into like a job interview, for example. You can't say, oh, well, if they wanted me to get the job, I was going to get the job whether I was wearing a suit or if I was wearing, baggy jeans and, a fitted hat. No, how you present in society impacts how people perceive you. And then that's going to impact how people treat you.
I understand that, women.
You don't think so?
I think it's again, we couldn't talk about the exceptions, but again, if you are dressing like a whore,
wait,
you're
but 9 times out of 10, a woman is dressed up, fully clothed outside, and a man
what's dressing like a whore to you?
They said
Dressing in a see-through with just a thong on, that's dressing like.
I don't like how they're playing stupid, like they don't know how a whore dresses. Like, we have television, we have entertainment, we have society where I don't know where they're from, but there's a look, of the average or stereotypical horror role. They're usually not wearing the most clothing. It's usually something see-through, and it's very revealing, but yet they're sitting here playing like they don't know what that is.
Like a whore.
Yeah.
That's how they show what they got outside. What you mean?
So if a woman went outside like that, you automatically just assume
She's a whore.
she's a whore. She throwing pussy at everybody. This is what she likes to do.
So that gives you the right then. So that
She's
gives
just
you the
not
right
going
then to touch
outside
on
like that
people.
because she likes.
I'm not going to assume a woman who is dressed very revealing, I'm not going to assume she's a whore. What I'm going to do is I'm going to know that she is dressed revealing, and that is going to indicate to me and most men that she doesn't respect herself and that she's not wifey material. Just like these women, many people or a woman don't want to have you to have a say on what they're wearing. So if I met you dressing what I perceive to be skanky or whorish, or like you don't respect yourself, why would I look to date you long term or make you my wife and then have to deal with trying to change this behavior? I will get with someone who, when I met them, they had themselves covered and they were respectable and dressed with modest apparel, not looking like they're trying to get attention from, thousands of people and trying to use their body to lure men in. Okay? That's not the type of woman that men want to have on their arm for the long run. And I don't I it's sort of irritating that they're acting like they don't understand this. Like, who raised them? Like, they're acting like they really believe there's nothing wrong with wearing anything you want while in a relationship. It's crazy to think that your partner shouldn't have a say in what you're wearing. They're just showing that they don't respect their partner. They don't respect their man. And he brought up a good question. He said, you go outside wearing whatever you want to wear, then if something happens, who are you going to call? You're going to call the very man to come protect you now when you said that man didn't have a say in what you're wearing. That makes no sense. If you've ever seen the movie The Bodyguard with Whitney Houston, there's a part in the movie, and I did a video on this before. There's a part in the movie where Whitney Houston is talking to the bodyguard. I forget the actor's name. I think it's Kevin Costner or something like that. But she's talking to her bodyguard, and he's about to quit. He's like, I'm done. And Whitney Houston says, fine, I'll listen. I'll give you whatever you want. And he start naming things. Like, when I say move, you move. When I say do this, you do that. Whitney Houston said, okay, whatever you want, I'll do it. How can you expect someone to protect you if you don't listen to them? How can you expect someone to lead you, guide you, if you're not willing to listen to them? That's like me telling someone, hey, don't walk down that dark alley. And you're like, man, I'm going to do whatever I want because I'm grown. You're not my father. I want to walk down that dark alley. I'm going to walk down that dark alley. And then they get hit over the head and someone's robbing them and they're like, help. Should I now go help you? You didn't listen to my guidance. I told you you're going to get robbed. Now, does it mean you should get robbed because you walk down that dark alley at nighttime? No. People shouldn't have no right to steal your belongings, and you should be able to walk wherever you want to walk without being physically assaulted. But we know you're more likely to get assaulted in a dark alley at nighttime than you would be on a well-lit street, around witnesses. So if someone's giving you good advice, you should use your brain and listen, especially if you're going to look to that person to protect you. But let's continue.
Her body, she wants to feel sexy or feel
it's
valid
giving,
in her own
like,
self.
That's what it's giving. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know when we got to this day of age.
She wants to feel sexy and valid in her own self. That makes no sense. When women go out there dressed like that, they're seeking attention and validation from other people. Plain and simple.
age where women want to be half naked all the time and want to be like, oh, I'm
women have
sexually
always
liberated.
been half naked.
Since when?
Women have always been half naked.
Since
Have
when?
y'all seen the pictures of y'all?
Women have not always been half naked. That's not true. Not like they are now. That was the minority of women back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. What is she talking about? What is she talking about? That's just not true.
My moms and aunts from back in the day.
Definitely was
No, maybe your mama.
Maybe your mama.
My mama got class.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
she kept her clothes on, not her ass out.
I don't know. Why y'all
I don't
lying on mama?
I don't want to bring it back to this
Like,
time, but like, what about like in like, you know, in Africa, the women's, they would walk around with no
There's
shirts.
tribes of women who walk around with their titties out,
literally, and just something covering the bottom.
They whores.
You talking about? Come on, we talking
No,
about?
no. We talking about women.
We talking about men and women.
Africa.
We talking about men.
See, they bring up a stupid point here. They bring up a red herring. They bring up a logical fallacy because it's cultural, and there are cultural differences. So that's why I'm saying, like, your beliefs and your culture. Don't let your culture override your beliefs. You don't know the beliefs that are within that culture. Okay, like what I talked about with Russell Wilson. We know they put, in the forefront of their relationship, Christ and Christianity. So anyone who knows the Bible and the teachings, how they should be carrying themselves if they truly believe in that. We can go to the chief source. Okay. You can't say, oh, I'm a Christian, and then we see you stealing and robbing banks and all of that. The Bible says not to do that. So you're clearly not living up to what you say you believe in. That's hypocrisy. They're bringing up Africa and African culture and parts of Africa. In Africa, there's over like 50 countries. So whatever they're talking about, whatever part they're talking about where women are not wearing clothing or men are not wearing clothing, that's also tribal, cultural. It's different belief systems in Africa and parts of Africa. It's also many third world countries in Africa, not as developed as it is in the United States of America and the Western world. So that just doesn't even make sense. They think they're bringing up a good point, but they're really not. That's the most annoying part about this all, when people think they're making a good point and they're really not.
The men are butt naked too. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's
the
their
men
culture.
got their chest out and they're still covering.
And
whatever
some men don't. They think out. What are you saying?
And the only difference is that we are hypersexualized. So if I decided I like this mesh dress and it looked good on me and I look bad as shit and then I walked outside, I'm looking good as shit for me. And if a nigga thought I looked nice, that's cool. But don't touch me.
I just want to hear from y'all like 20 years.
That makes no sense. She says that we're hypersexualized. So this is the thing that kills me about this generation. All right. And I did a video on this before too. In previous generations or whatever, women were hypersexualized, and women didn't have the rights that they have now. And like I said, in other cultures and other parts of the world, they still don't. But to say that women are hypersexualized and then you see women sexualize themselves, Sexy Red, Glorilla, Meg the Stallion, Ice Spice, all of these women, all right, Cardi B, they walk around half naked at their shows and they twerk. They shake their butt in front of an audience. They sexualize themselves. They disrespect themselves. I don't know since when is being an entertainer, being a rap artist, being, a musician, where you have to shake your butt, show so much cleavage, wear a thong and make it where we can see it. You're sexualizing yourself. You're putting yourself on display. All right. Especially as a black woman, that's just ridiculous. If you look up Sarah Bartman was a black woman who was shipped throughout parts of Europe, and she was raped and put on display for them to see her backside and her boobs and all of this stuff against her will. Now you have women who do this stuff on purpose. They want to show it just to the whole world. That's for your man. That's for your partner. You shouldn't be seeking validation from other people. That makes no sense to say we're over sexualized, but I want to go outside and show whatever I want to show.
Or 10 years from now, and if y'all have a relationship, I guarantee most men will want to have a say, because I'm willing to hear, if my woman don't want me to wear something, I'm willing to compromise. Hey, babe, what you don't like?
But
what?
Right. Look, he's saying he's willing to compromise as the man if he's wearing something that, his woman doesn't appreciate, which, is slightly harder for us to do so. We're talking about, being revealing. But if a man, and I think one of them brought it up in this clip, but if a man was to say, like, I'm going to walk outside wearing like a Speedo, or, I'm going to walk outside wearing, see-through shirt, see-through pants, that's not respecting his relationship. That's not respecting his partner. That's not respecting himself. That's going to look ridiculous, and it's going to make his woman look ridiculous. And it shouldn't be done. So if I'm in a situation like this and my partner isn't listening, I'm not going to try to change your mind. If I say I feel disrespected by you wearing that, I don't think you should wear that out. If you wear that out, you don't have to come home to me because you don't respect me. You can consider the relationship done. But this is why this is something that should be addressed in the dating phase and the phases of finding your wife. You should see how she dresses, and you should know this prior to, making that final step to make her your wife.
Point case and scenario, is a woman really gonna tell her man that
babe, I don't like that hat. I don't like that shirt. I heard it before.
But I don't like that hat. You probably don't go with that outfit. She probably doing you a favor.
Right.
No,
She's probably
looking
not
at
telling you. She's not telling you that she don't like the
hat.
hat or the shirt because she feel like you're gonna get groped or you feel like you look like a whore.
Like,
She's telling you because she knows your fit is probably trash.
But you see, that goes back.
So if I
that goes back to the mind of a protector. I'm looking to protect my woman.
But if you
I'm trying to put her, hold on. I'm trying to put her in the best position to go outside and come back home safely.
Facts.
If I think that you wearing this outside is going to attract extra attention, because you might still get attention no matter what you wear. But if I think this is going to attract extra attention to you, I'm going to say, babe, I don't think you should wear that. And as my woman, you should be like, I understand.
Let me tell you something. All of that is bullshit. And I say that I simply because it's bullshit. And I'm going to tell you why. Because
he told her a fact and she said it's bullshit. If you go outside, if a woman who goes outside naked, she's going to attract more attention than a woman fully clothed. Like, that's just simple logic. So how is it bullshit? I'm going to stop